Welcome to another Friday the 13th. And that means I am reviewing another Friday the 13th. If you do not know who I am the Kaiju no Kami. And this time I am reviewing Part 7, The New Blood. While the production of Jason Lives went on with great enjoyment, The New Blood was not so lucky. Director John Carl Bletchler and the original writer Daryl Hanney had a lot of issues with this movie's associate producer, who constantly fought them on various aspects they felt would make the film more original compared to its predecessors. Hanney's script had been rewritten by another writer using a fake name to take royalties away from him, and pieces of dialogue were ad-libbed by the movie's actors. Additionally, the MPAA forced most of the death scenes to be edited down to nothing, despite other movies such as Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom getting away with so much more, and they still had a PG rating. Nevertheless, they did the best they could with what they had to work with, but they were just making another installment to a tired franchise. 7 movies already. I have reviewed 6 of them up to this point, and now the 7th. What more can I really talk about that I haven't already covered? I don't know. But let's take a look at Jason's Destroyer. Our movie kicks off with a recap of what has happened prior in case we forgot. Well, that, or they just needed to add some additional minutes to up the runtime before heading into the blandest credit sequence ever. A pure black screen with text. How exciting. When our movie finally truly begins, we see Jason's body chained beneath the lake in a house I didn't notice was there in the last one.
Continuity can sometimes disappoint.
A little girl comes running out after hearing her dad punch her mom, accidentally killing him when he comes after her. Oops. 10 years pass and... Hold on a minute! 10 years have passed? So, let me think here. Jason's mom died in 1980. 5 years went by for the second movie. The third movie took place the night after that. The fourth movie took place about a week later, so that was still 1985. Then about 6-7 years passed, maybe 8 years for part 6. So we'll say it was 1992. Jason's drowned. And then this movie takes place, so that means the little girl scenes had to be right after part 6. And so this movie takes place in 2002? 2003? Where are all their cell phones and internets? Moving away from the nonsensical timeline, Tina and her mom return to their cabin in Forest Green. Or Crystal Lake. How? But did you guys even watch your last movie? Or did you just watch like the last 2 minutes? Tina and her mom. Holy shit! Guys, do you know who that is that's playing Tina's mom? That's Susan Blue, the voice of RC from Transformers. That is freaking cool. What? Oh. I'm sorry. I guess I'm just letting ADD get to me because this movie's just not that good. I'm sorry. I will focus on the movie and nothing else, at least for the moment. I promise. Tina, played by Lara Park Lincoln, and her mom arrive back at the cabin they haven't been to since her dad's death to meet up with Tina's doctor.
Did you have a good trip?
Oh, it was a very nice drive.
Hi, Tina. How are you?
Hi.
We've done all we can do for her at the hospital, and she just hasn't made enough progress. I know it's tough on both of you to come back here, but trust me.
If you dress like a douche, you look like a douche, you quack like a douche, you might be a douche. Therefore, I'm going to call you Dr. Douche. Dr. Douche holds a session with Tina. Is that what they're calling it these days?
Sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't happen.
And you're lying to me. You are lying because it happens when your emotions are at their peak.
Bullshit!
I'm a fire starter, twisted fire starter.
which causes Tina to lose control and she accidentally resurrects Jason.
We did something very bad.
Did you wreck the car?
No.
Did you raise the dead?
Yes.
But the car's okay. All right then.
While this occurs, a group of teens next door are holding a party for one of their friends named Michael, whose cousin Nick invites Tina to join them.
A bunch of us got together to throw my cousin Michael's surprise birthday party. I came over to invite your daughter.
I don't know. Well, you can always spend the evening with me and Dr. Cruz.
Naturally, the reason Michael hasn't shown up is because both he and his girlfriend were too busy being murdered by Jason. Tina visualizes the murder, running back to her mom in a panic.
Tina, you're creating images of your father.
You're a douchebag. 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 You're a douchebag. Douchebag.
We cut to a couple of nobodies who are clearly there for one thing. Kill count! At least she got to go out with a bang. The next day, Nick hangs out with Tina while waiting for his cousin and exposits his life story to her.
I used to hang out with a real bad crowd. Then my dad kicked me out. And now I go to night school. Your turn.
She does the same, which a jealous girl named Melissa uses against her later on in the day.
Hey, Tina. Isn't this the way they wear their jackets back in the mental hospital?
Tina! Hey, wait, Tina!
She's in, she's out. She's in, she's out. Can't a girl just make up her mind? Yeesh. That night, Tina's mom learns what Dr. Douche is really up to, arguing with him, causing Tina to drive off in a frenzy.
Tina?
Tina, no!
She ends up crashing the car after witnessing another vision, this time of her mother being killed by Jason. As such, she runs back home to save her mother, just missing her and Dr. Douche, who went after her.
Wait a minute! Don't go! Don't leave!
Meanwhile, Jason arrives at the cabin and keeps the statistics high.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Yeah.
Oh, but before the body count stops, we are treated to some really dumb dialogue.
Neanderthal man, hunter-gatherer, seeks nourishment.
I know these movies aren't exactly great for their acting, but that just brings a whole new level of stupidity.
I got a date with the soap on a rope.
Yeah, like that. Soap on a rope? What the hell does that even mean? Who actually talks like that? And I don't get this girl's death here. Jason lifts her up and slams her into the wall with her back, but we see her fly out the window from her front. How? Did Jason pick her up and then throw her out like a football? If so, why couldn't they show that? It's not like that would have had to have been edited too much. After killing the teens, Jason takes out Tina's mom.
Tina knew. She tried to tell us.
What are you doing? Oh my gosh. No! You're a douchebag.
Tina makes it back to the cabin, informs Nick of what is happening, then runs off only to discover her mother's body.
Mom?
She also finds the bodies to everyone else. While that happens, Dr. Douche gets whacked. Tina confronts Jason and proceeds to kick his ass. It comes so far as to dropping a porch onto him. Kind of brings a whole new meaning to It's on the House, doesn't it?
Hey, jerk, puns are lazy writing. Go!
Afterwards, she returns to her own cabin where she finds Melissa is still alive with Nick. That is until Melissa is given the axe.
Fuck you both!
Initially, the duo try to flee until Tina has had enough running, choosing to battle Jason instead. Haha, Jason just got nailed. Jason continues to take a beating and the house explodes.
I'm a fire starter, twisted fire starter.
Did you hear that, Smithers? That was the sound of Michael Bay having an orgasm.
It's all gone. Everything's gone.
Yes, because you so cared about wanting to be there in the first place. Now you just want it because you don't have it anymore. Just as Tina and Nick think it is over, Jason shows up once more. He knocks Nick out before attempting to kill Tina until a long-lost dad emerges from the sea.
Large lake, large lake.
Although this does bring the question to me two things. First, why is the dad still in the water? You'd think the police would have gone and fished him out as evidence that he was not intentionally murdered, that it was technically an accident. Just saying that they would probably need that for their investigation. Secondly, he's been in the water for 10 years. Why does he not look like it? He looks like he's just a dude that was swimming and came out of the water. Shouldn't he be like rotting or something? Maybe have seaweed covering him. This is lazy. This is pure laziness at its finest. Well, whatever. I'm asking too much from a movie that Paramount clearly didn't care about. Drowny Donnie pulls Jason back into the lake whence he came. Our movie then ends with both Nick and Tina being carted off to the hospital.
Where's Jason?
We took care of him.
Bringing another Friday the 13th to an end. Regrettably, there's not much I can really say here other than it has some good ideas mixed in with the same boring crap we have already seen done before and done better. The plot of Jason having to contend with a woman who has telekinesis is a clever idea. In fact, the last portion of the movie when they start battling each other is quite brilliant. Everything else, though, is pointless gutter trash fluff. None of the characters matter, even Nick. They are nothing more than set pieces because the writers were too inept to actually write a movie that focuses on Tina and her struggles against both Dr. Douche and Jason. There were a lot of interesting ideas that could have been utilized to create a unique experience. Instead, it was all squandered in favor of making another formulaic Jason film. What's really funny about this, though, is that they spent so much time on keeping the Friday formula just to have death scenes that are laughably bad. The only highlights belong to the girl in the sleeping bag, Dr. Douche's, and Melissa's. I understand they were severely edited down due to the MPAA, however, that does not mean I'm going to give them leeway when they knew this would happen at this point. Had this been the first, second, or even third time, fine, but not the seventh. On the positive side, Kane Hodder donned the mask of Jason in this film, and I really like what he did with him. I'm not sure if it is the way Jason is filmed on screen, or if it was just the subtle motions in his body language Hodder presented, but it worked and gave Jason a sense of identity. He might be so dumb to know he is actually dead, but he sure as hell knows how to look intimidating, especially during the scene in the barn where he hunts Maddie. There's a reason he stuck around for a few more entries. I really do also like the makeup effects used, such as his face. It looks like exactly what he's gone through in the other movies, and I like that. I also adore how rotted he looks on his body with his torn clothes that you can see bones coming through and all that. Aside from that, there's not much else to tell. Harry Manfredini was too busy to score the film. As such, they took some of the tracks from the previous films and combined them with the TV series composer Fred Mullen.
Where are you? David?
Mullen's score seems pretty cool for the most part, outside of that lame-ass opening credit sequence. The gothic melodies found within the soundtrack are pretty awesome. Overall, for being called The New Blood, there's nothing really new about it. It's just the same tired, boring tropes over again with something new thrown in just to call it new. It's not the worst movie in the series, but considering the series pretty much just relies on one bloody gimmick, that's not really saying much. At least I am past the halfway point. Until next time. Bye.
And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire.